Would I be wrong for leaving after 6.5 years with no proposal in sight? I, 25 female, have been with my partner, 29 male, for 6.5 years. I'm getting fed up with the fact that we haven't gotten married yet. I am ready for the next chapter of our lives and just feel stuck. I can see why you may be thinking I'm shitty. I would too with that heading, but hear me out. We've been together 6.5 years, are financially stable, own a home together for 4 years, and have a dog together. He told me 3 years ago that he was ready, and a proposal still hasn't happened. We've been through a lot together and have grown together. We went through my brain tumor diagnosis, my grandma who raised me passing, his grandpa's passing, and more. He just tells me to be patient, but he won't give me a reason as to why we are waiting. When I've asked him about it, he always tells me that there's nothing holding him back from getting married. He says that he wants the same thing as me. He swears that it's going to happen for us and even told me he had something planned before COVID hit. But I know by his own admittance that it wasn't more than just an idea. He knows marriage is very important to me, which he has always said he's on board for. He also tells me that he'd say no to a proposal from me because he'd be hurt I took the opportunity away from him. I feel like my needs are being dismissed without even being given a reason. If he would communicate a concern, I'd be more understanding, but this just feels ridiculous. The more time that passes, the more frustrated I become. I never ever want to be that woman to give an ultimatum, but I can't wait around forever if it isn't going to happen. I know that sounds terrible, but if we weren't on the same page, we both need to be able to find that person with the same goals, wants, and needs in life, right? So, would I be wrong for leaving him?
It turns out when they tell you not to drink the water in Mexico, they actually mean it. This past week I got to go to Mexico, and I gotta tell y'all, the trip was amazing. Until the last day, at least. You see, the night before I had had a little bit too much to drink, so understandably when I got up to brush my teeth, I was a little hungover. Okay, a lot hungover. See, at home, I have no problem drinking water right out of the faucet. But in Mexico, that's a no-no, you heard? So I knew I messed up the second the water hit my tongue. I just had a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach. Well, maybe more like a gurgle. I spent the next couple of hours dreading what was to come. But to be honest, like, not really much happened. I mean, I was a little gassy. But that's pretty normal for me. Anyway, that night we had a wine tasting, like fancy dinner. Everybody was dressed to the nines, right? So we get in the elevator to go down. And it hits. I swear my stomach was rumbling like Mount Krakatoa. So by the time we got to that bottom floor, I thought I was gonna erupt and people were gonna be covered in an ash cloud of caca. Well, I'm talking I had to go and I had to go now. So in one of my rare but brilliant moments, I decided I forgot my wallet in the room and I need to go get it. So I press the button for the elevator to go back up. Elevator gets there and guess what? It's full. And they're not getting off at that floor. This ain't gonna wait for another elevator to get there, so I make a break for it. I run down past the convention center to the most remote bathroom I can possibly find so nobody has to listen to the sins I'm about to commit in this room. Through the bathroom door, and guess what? Somebody's abuela, sweet little old lady, sitting there just finished cleaning the whole bathroom. And she goes, hola! And I go, hola! See, the thing you gotta understand is this ain't no 50-stall bathroom. This ain't no Buc-ee's. This is a 1-urinal, 1-stall bathroom. And abuela, she ain't leaving. This one is happening either way, so I got two choices, the floor or the toilet. I chose the toilet. Let me tell y'all, the sounds, it wasn't solid, it wasn't liquid, like pebbles being gently washed down a river. It was bad. I start gagging, she starts gagging, and then I just hear a thud. I slowly go to look underneath the stall, and this lady is passed out. I have to call an ambulance from the toilet seat, and the operator can barely understand me because it sounds like there's a machine gun going off in the freaking background when it's really just my butt. Don't worry, like, she's okay. But moral of the story, don't drink the water in Mexico because you might kill somebody's grandma.
I had been doing YouTube for about a year at this point, and I didn't have that many fans yet. I had my small little community of subscribers, but it wasn't anything like it was now. And yeah, my life at this time, pretty much all I was doing was hanging out with friends, trying to not fail school, and playing a bunch of Xbox. So yeah, one day, I was on Xbox, 16 years old, playing with two of my friends online, and we're playing Black Ops 2, we're playing TDM, and there's some random dude on our team just screaming at the game, like he's so angry. Now he got matched up with us because we searched for a game and didn't have a full team, so it found random people. And yeah, we had this angry, like, just troll on our team. He kept screaming every time he would die. So I told him, I was like, dude, can you calm down? Like, you are completely shrieking in all of our ears. And he was like, I don't give a fuck what you think about my raging, bro. And I was like, well, bro, it's a little unhealthy to be screaming this loud and just shrieking over a video game, man. Like, it's not healthy. He's like, well, my life isn't healthy. And at that point, I'm like, all right, clearly this dude's got... So, you know, I stopped saying stuff to him. I let him keep raging and playing the game. At the end of the game, we lose. He then proceeds to start screaming at me and my friends, saying it's our fault that we lost and that we're just pieces of shit and blah, 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 blah. And then I realized he's at the bottom of the board. So I'm like, yo, dude, hate to break it to you, you're the one at the bottom. And all of a sudden he's like, yo, fuck you, bro. You think you're all cool? Think you're hot shit because you got a few thousand YouTube subs? Now, I had no idea he knew about me from YouTube at all. It was actually kind of flattering because at the time, not a lot of people knew who I was. So to get recognized, even by an angry troll in a COD game, it was kind of cool. So anyway, I replied to him. I'm like, dude, I don't know how my YouTube got brought into this, but like, homie, I'm just saying, we lost. Like, you didn't do that good. I didn't do that good. Let's just, like, forget it. And he proceeds to leave the game. And then 10 minutes later, I get a message on Xbox of my hometown, like where I live. And I'm thinking, like, all right, you know what? That's not that hard to do. Like, anyone could probably Google my name and find that out. So I ignore it. And then 5 minutes after that, of, like, my neighborhood, like the street I live on, I'm like, yo, okay, maybe this dude knows what he's doing a little bit. So I message him back. I'm like, can you leave me alone? And he responds again with my full address. So I'm guessing what this dude did was he like looked up my IP from pulling it on Xbox and then found the street that I lived on and then probably somehow used Google and like info about myself to find the house I lived in. I'm not too sure how he found my exact house, but he did. So I end up blocking him on Xbox and my friends were like, yo, don't worry about it. Like, it's not that hard to find someone's address online. He's not going to do anything. He doesn't have your phone number. He doesn't have anything else. Just let it be. I'm like, all right, guys. So the rest of that night was pretty normal, right? I didn't think anything else could happen. The whole night was fine. Nothing else happened. But the next morning is when shit took a turn, all right? I wake up to a knock on my door. And I'm thinking it's something that I ordered online, like a package. Thinking it's one of my siblings or a friend knocking on the door. So I walk over to the door. I open the door and I see this random guy. Probably looks like 17 years old. And I open the door and I'm like, what's up? And he goes, are you Luna? And the minute I heard those 3 words, as well as the voice, I recognized that voice immediately. In my head, I was like, oh no, like this can't be happening. So I responded, I'm like, yeah, who are you? He's like, my name's Josh, the kid that you played Xbox with yesterday. I'm like, bro, did you really just show up on my front door? I should get your ass arrested for trespassing right now. He's like, oh, I just wanted to come here quick and see if you'd say what you said last night to my face. I'm like, say what? That you're bad at COD? Sure, you suck at COD. And that did not rub him the right way because he got all up in my face. He's like, oh yeah? How about real life? You want to see if I'm bad at real life? I'm like, bro, the fact that you just came to my front door over a Call of Duty match makes me think you're bad at life. And he goes, oh yeah? And he gets even closer to me. And I was like, all right, man, I'm going to give you 3 seconds to take a step back. And in my head, I was thinking like, all right, there's 2 ways this is going to pan out. I'm either calling the cops and he gets arrested or I'm going to have to... And luckily, to my surprise, my brother comes up behind me and he's like, yo, what's going on? I was like, hey man, this dude is from Xbox. He found my address through the internet like a stalker, and he just showed up here to try and start a fight. And my brother's like, yo, homie, leave Austin alone, turn around, walk away, or else you're leaving here in handcuffs. And the dude goes, all right, I'll be back. My brother goes, no, you won't. And the guy just goes, okay, sure. And he turns around and he just walks away down the street. He must have lived close because he didn't take a car over to my house. He walked. So after that, my brother was like, yo, what was that about? I'm like, bro, I have no idea. Like, that man found my address through the internet because I argued with him on Call of Duty. And my brother was just shocked by that. And yeah, shout out to him for having my back. He's like 6 years older than me. So when he came up to me and that dude told him to leave, I think the dude got a little scared because... you know, he wasn't the same age as us. But that's pretty much the end of the story, guys. Moral of the story is, don't stalk people on the internet. This whole story time could have gone.
Hey babes, let me tell you about when I knew my parents' relationship just might not make it. So this was last Thanksgiving, and we all know during quarantine, that was like our get out of jail free card when it comes to like the family and having to see them on Thanksgiving. So we're all sitting in our living room. Food is done. You know, we waited all day. Everybody's starved and a little hangry. And mind you, I decided that I'm not celebrating Thanksgiving anymore, so I'm just sitting there with tea. I don't know how the conversation started. My mom might have said something. My dad might have said something. But all I remember is my dad being like, you're a fucking devil. And I remember just being like, And my mom is like, I just think illogical. Da-da-da. So this is a whole argument breaks out. And the argument is like, it's giving very much one-sided. It's giving very much, you guys are drunk and a little hungry. And the core values in both of you is different. The way both of y'all think is different. And it makes me think about like astrology and all that. Like my mom doesn't believe in it, my dad agrees in it. So they just have a lot of different, I want to say ethical and other things they live by. So as this argument is going on, mind you, me and my sister are sitting across from each other. And I start playing meditation music. So I'm like, at this point, what can I do like to make this better? So as I'm playing the meditation music, I start to hear them talking about, oh my goodness, y'all. So my dad ends up bringing up the fact that my mom didn't have a dad in her life. And he's like, because you don't know how to be with a man because you never had no daddy. And after he said that, I was just in my head like, oh, we're hitting below the belt right now. And the conversation just kept going in that direction. And mind you, my parents fight here and there. And when I say here and there, I mean like every 3 months they debate if the marriage is for them. And every week, somebody is not sleeping in the room. But it's like, you know, you always get somewhere. Like we always are still like family. So as this argument is going on, me and my sister is still sitting there. I end up just excusing myself after I had the tea. Now, by the time I excuse myself, we're about 3 bottles of wine in, and we're about halfway done the divorce papers. This is what it's really giving. And in that moment, I just knew like this is not it. And the funny part is though, my dad always says like he would never be the one to break up. And he always told me that if I ever like thought about getting a divorce or basically like doing that, he would haunt me. So like, as we can clearly see, my dad is like very, very like, you have to stay, like you stick it out type vibes. And in that moment though, I knew, I don't know how long y'all will stick it out, sweetheart.
I had a table today with a couple, and the husband was introducing his baby mama to his family. He was military, and I guess he's been busy on his time away. The couple also had a brand new baby that they were showing off. Nice folks. They were with the dude's mom, sister, and aunt. They ordered a baked chicken nacho to start, which I promptly put in. Mind you, I was captain on a party of 25 and finishing them up, and the host told them they would have a few minute wait at the table. They were cool at first. Once the food came out, the complaints started. I checked on them multiple times in passing and nobody asked for anything. They, of freaking course, asked for waters for the table and also each had a beer or mocktail. Nobody asked for refills or to order another. They didn't have a single auto refill drink, but okay, maybe I wasn't being super attentive. Anyway, the mom goes to the front and has a hissy fit and my manager deals with her, but she pulls me aside to say that she was watching me and that she knows I did my best. Even if the food was kind of late behind our party of 25 regulars. She's gonna comp the cheesecake slices and I shouldn't worry about them. I go and drop the discounted check and I hear the Beyonce say, I'm gonna order cheesecake for all of us and get the whole bill taken care of. The sister and mom both cringe visibly and make eye contact with me. I drop the free $50 of cheesecake and bring the fussy toddler a free milk just to show that I care. The aunt stares at the check and then violently snatches it. I watch the new baby mama die internally. I can only imagine she's been dealing with this effing witch for hours or days and is rapidly approaching her limit. She's dressed like a crunchy hippie mom and is super sweet whenever I come back to the table. She isn't a problem and I imagine she's served before. You'll see why. Not 5 minutes after the $40 check is dropped, my manager finds me and we go to a posy to look at the ring times and such. She wants to make sure I did my best before she sticks up for me. Everything checks out and she decides it isn't worth the trouble and comps the entire bill. They seem satisfied and leave. Finally. On the way out, they called me slow and shiftless and say I should work somewhere else. I laughed in response because F them and I wished them a lovely evening. I knew I wasn't going to get tipped and just start to bust the table once they were out of view. I found a 20 by where the sister was sitting and a crisp 50 in the middle of the table. I'm betting the dude left that. As I finish up, I see the baby mama speaking to the manager who gestures toward me and I walk over. She smashes a crumbled 100 into my hand and whispers, I'm so sorry, I know you did your best with them. Not gonna lie y'all, I almost cried. I simply nodded and said thanks so much and that I hope to see her and her baby again. She thanked me again and walked off. I imagine the aunt thinks that she did something by scoring free food for everyone, but all she did was alienate her nephew and her sister further. I've been dating my girlfriend for 7 months. She's amazing and we're super compatible in a lot of ways. She's an outspoken vegan and she made it very clear from the start of our relationship that it was important to her any potential partner had the same cruelty-free values. Me, already being a pescatarian, had little difficulty transitioning to a fully plant-based diet. My girlfriend was proud of me for going cruelty-free and everything seemed well. Then there's my cat Mittens. I've had her for 3 years and I adore her. She's such a sweet and cuddly cat. However, my girlfriend was always a little apprehensive around her and she blamed it on not growing up around cats. After a while, we sort of made an agreement to mostly hang out at her apartment instead of mine, so Mittens never really came up again in the conversation. Fast forward through all the quarantine stuff. My girlfriend and I have spent a lot of time together during this pandemic and started talking about moving our relationship to the next level. We began seriously looking at either buying a new apartment together or having one of us move in with the other. However, after a lot of talking and planning, my girlfriend sat me down and dropped a bombshell on me. She said that with this next phase of our relationship, she didn't see a future with me unless I was willing to give away Mittens. She said that she believed that owning a cat is unconscionable for vegans because they hunt mice and eat meat, and because the very act of owning a pet is a violation of vegan principles. I was stunned. I told her that I was absolutely not willing to give up mittens, and she had no choice but to eat meat, so I was reducing harm as much as possible by buying the reputable brands of cat food. Plenty of vegans own cats and think along the same lines. My girlfriend got mad and said, "How much flesh does your cat eat? How many animals died to make all that food? Would you be okay with that being human flesh?" I got mad and told my girlfriend I would have really appreciated her telling me about her cat opinions before we got serious. She went on and on about cats killing animals. Then I went home and snuggled with Mittens. Although the mood soured a bit when my GF sent me a link to the Reddit thread advocating for the extinction of domestic cats. It pains me to think that an otherwise wonderful relationship could be ended because of